Let's get into your October horoscope. The numerology of October is 1910. It's that one energy of optimism. We want to start something new. 19 in tarot is the sun card, signifying happiness, joy, success, moving into a new area of life, clarity, confidence, especially from your accomplishments or initiating your accomplishments. October in numerology is a 10 month. 10 is corresponding to the 10th zodiac sign, Capricorn, a cardinal earth house, and a cardinal earth sign. So we are trying to initiate something brand new, especially when it comes to our status, our career. We may even see changes in government leadership, government structures, and we can be feeling restricted or like we have extra responsibilities to take care of. We might be seeking perfectionism and be a little bit pessimistic. We can even have run-ins with authority figures, government officials, bosses, people of authority. So you might want to look at your Capricorn house for more clues into this month. And we just had the eclipses in September on the Virgo Pisces axis. So we still have the eclipse energy flowing through October. Neptune is going retrograde in Pisces, giving us a lot of clarity. Pluto is going direct, and there's so much Scorpio energy. So it's a lot of passion, a lot of anger and manipulation, jealousy. We may see that come up in October, but we may gain a lot of clarity, and it can actually be a very emotional month because of all that Scorpio energy. Scorpio is a water sign, very emotional. And this month, because of that Mars energy that we have going on, there may be a lot of anger, disagreements, fighting, and you could see this in your personal life and all over the world. There's going to be a lot of conflict, a lot of fighting. Let's get into some of the astrology. October 6th, Mercury enters Scorpio. A lot of Mars energy this month, you guys. October 6th, we have a full moon in the sign of Aries, and this is where something is coming to fruition in your life. Something has reached its peak, or this is where an ending is occurring in October. October 7th, Mercury will square off with Pluto, and this can lead to intense interactions, deep, intense conversations. Maybe you're going to be in deep research or uncovering truths. This can be a time where some truth is revealed to the world we were not aware of, you in your personal life. October 11th, Venus is opposite Saturn, and this is really difficulty in relationships, sadness, limitations with love, family, money. You can just feel like something is restricted. October 13th, Venus enters Libra. Also on the 13th, Pluto turns direct, and it's going to be impacting planets from about 0 to 4 degrees of Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, Taurus. So if you have planets within those degrees, you can have the conjunction, opposition, or square from Pluto, and that can be really intensifying your October energy. October 13th is a big one because we also have Venus opposite Neptune, and this is where we are more susceptible to scams, theft, just being more gullible. We may also be very disappointed when it comes to love, money, family matters. There may be something that comes to light we were unaware of. October 14th is a really good day for love. It could be a day of chance meetings, sudden love, sudden attraction with Venus trining Uranus. It's even good for money gains. On the same day, we have Venus trining with Pluto, which may bring intensity into our relationships, a lot of passion, but even obsession and fantasizing. But it's a good day where we want to explore and try something new. So a really good day to go out and meet somebody. October 20th, Mercury conjuncts Mars at 19 degrees of Scorpio, and this can bring on some heated conversations, passionate conversations, secrets coming out, uncovering secrets. October 21st, there is a new moon in the sign of Libra. Venus is also in Libra. So this is where you are initiating something brand new in the month of October. Look to your Libra house, to the new beginning. October 22nd, Neptune will turn retrograde. This will really impact planets from 25 to 30 degrees of Virgo, Pisces, Gemini, Sagittarius. If you have a Virgo or Pisces ascendant, late degree, you're going to feel this. This can be something that you have not noticed. Maybe something is revealed to you you were unaware of. Taking off the rose-colored glasses in the area you have Pisces. And Saturn is there to really solidify it, so you won't really be able to distract yourself. Whatever truth comes out will give you a lot of clarity, and you're going to be able to handle it in a very Saturnian fashion. All that Mars Scorpio energy this month can be very revealing, so secrets can be revealed, and there could be some angry conversations that are had. October 22nd, the Sun enters Scorpio, illuminating that Scorpio energy. October 24th, the Sun will square off with Pluto, and this can create some ego clashes, power struggles, so be careful, especially with people of authority, bosses, superiors, as this day can really bring on some big power struggles. October 29th, Mercury will leave Scorpio and go into Sagittarius. Also on the 29th, we have Mercury opposite Uranus, and this can give us sudden flashes of insight for ideas, especially in a creative project, sudden travel, sudden communication, unexpected communication. Mars also trines Saturn, giving you patience and discipline to complete whatever it is that you set out to do. And Mercury will be trining Neptune, and this is fantastic if you need to come up with creative ideas. You may even feel like you have psychic abilities, you're in tune with the energy of the world. Fantastic for creative writing, coming up with creative ideas for a business, a project. If you find these videos helpful, like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate that. It helps spread the video out to more people. I will have all the timestamps down below so you can listen to your October forecast for your sign. Aries, a big focus for you in October is going to be 8th house issues, as that is where you have Mars transiting. Issues of the past can come up to be dealt with. There could also be issues with money, joint finances, maybe even anger or arguments from issues of finances, joint responsibilities. If you have a partner or spouse and you share money responsibilities together, this can bring in a little bit more arguments in the month of October. And with Mars being in Scorpio, you could also be digging deep into the psychological issues that keep you from living your best life, or maybe you are studying astrology, tarot, digging deep into occult knowledge. The first 13 days of October, Venus is transiting your 6th house. So getting organized, getting your health back on track is really something that's going to bring you a lot of joy, actually. And this is also a great time to hire new employees and even just working. People in the workplace, your relationships with the people that you work with, your coworkers, can be a lot smoother, a lot better with Venus transiting the 6th house. October 6th, we have a full moon in Aries. So this is your first house, and that rules over your identity, your life path, your personality, your health, your look, and you are concluding something in this area. So maybe you are letting go of a part of yourself so that you could really transform into the new, better you. Because the ruler of this full moon is going into the 8th house, meeting up with Mercury right there. There could be a lot of talks about transformation. You could be transforming past issues, past pain, radiating different energy. There could be a lot of talks about money, joint finances, inheritances. Some of you could be dealing with a lot. Or you could actually be completely transforming your look as well. Maybe your hairstyle, your personal style, your life path, where you want to go in life. So you want to like say goodbye to the old you and revamp yourself, whether it is internally or externally, or maybe even both for some of you. On October 13th, Venus will enter your seventh house. So the second 2 weeks of October, with Venus in your seventh house, it's a time to attract new love into your life. If you are single, put yourself out there. It's a great time to meet somebody, start a new relationship, take a relationship to the next level, some of you, or maybe even gain customers, clients coming to you if you own a business. This is a great time because you are more magnetic, you're more charming. With the sun also in your seventh, there's a big focus on relationships or business dealings, especially the second half of the month. And even existing relationships can really benefit. Maybe you are more romantic with your partner, you go out on dates a little bit more. On October 13th as well, Pluto turns direct in your 11th house of groups, friendships, your hopes and dreams for the future. If you have personal planets from 0 to 5 degrees of Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, or Scorpio, October could be a little bit tougher for you because you can feel that either Pluto conjunction, opposition, or square to those planets, and you could be transforming friendships. The people in your life could be changing. Your love life could be changing. Money, finances, or responsibilities. And this can come through a crisis or maybe opposition from other people. So do watch out, especially if you have personal planets there. But as Pluto goes direct in your 11th house, it's really going to make you think about your friendships and your future goals. So you could be really realigning yourself with what it is that you truly want for your future. About the middle of October, you could really be thinking about that. There could also be changes within your friendship group, maybe even some power struggles within your friendship circle. On the 20th, going into the new moon, we are going to have Mars and Mercury conjunct in your 8th house. So do be careful of arguments, disagreements, especially when it comes to sharing resources about money, home responsibilities. So really this whole month can bring in more anger, more arguments as Mars is transiting through Scorpio. It could give us a lot of drive to really get to the bottom of things and get things done, but can also bring up a lot of arguments. So just be cautious of this. October 21st, we have a new moon in the sign of Libra, your 7th house of committed relationships, partnerships, and the ruler of that new moon is also Venus sitting in the 7th house. So this is a time where you might actually begin a new romantic relationship, get serious with a partner, or maybe even attract new clients, attract new business partners into your life, a new opportunity to understanding yourself through other people, through your relationships with other people. But this is really great for love, romance. Those of you who are single, this is a fantastic time to meet people this whole month, actually, Aries. And if you are coupled, there could be new beginnings in the life of your partner, your spouse, maybe new clients, a new business partner for them. Or they could be making changes to their health, their look, their aesthetic, maybe completely changing up their style in some way. October 22nd, Neptune will retrograde back into Pisces, meeting up with Saturn retrograde. This is the axis, the 12th house and the 6th house of the eclipses. And ever since September, all the way actually until the next eclipse, February of 2026, you are ending something and beginning something new when it comes to the area of your subconscious mind, work, health related matters. So an excellent time to get rid of self-limiting beliefs, get rid of those bad habits. Saturn and Neptune can really just show you what it is that you need to release, what it is that you need to let go of. And maybe you could learn things that you were unaware of before. If the people in your life have been keeping things from you, this can all come to light now. It could come to a head. And so you could really release people, you could release situations, work, negative habits. So there is a lot going on. in your subconscious mind, and it is where you are really changing. You know what they say it is that we need to make the subconscious conscious. A lot of times we don't even know how we are holding ourselves back, and this is the month, Aries, where you're going to be made aware of how you are holding yourself back from being your best self. Also, the sun will enter your eighth house, and that is really a big focus for you this month as eighth house matters, whether it is intimacy, digging deep into occult knowledge, secrets coming out, maybe you learned something you were unaware of, maybe taking your intimate relationship to the next level, dealing with taxes, inheritances, how you share resources with your spouse, your partner, other people, and your responsibilities, especially when it comes to money, any debts that you may have. So that is really going to be a very big focus for you, Aries. I hope that this was helpful. Taurus, all month long, you have Mars in your seventh house. So watch out, because there might be relationship arguments or even arguing with clients, a business partner, but especially your one-to-one connections. So your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. This can also lead to strong romantic attractions. And if you feel like you are fighting with a partner, a spouse a little bit more, it's a sign that you need more activity together. Maybe go for a walk, work out together, do something active together, because that brings a more positive vibe to that Mars transiting the seventh house. The first 13 days of October, so basically the first 2 weeks of October, Venus in your fifth house is all about finding romance. So you can find a romantic partner if you are single, a great time to put yourself out there. Or maybe you are enjoying more of a romantic time with a significant other. Spending time with your children will bring you a lot of joy, but also working on your creative projects, working on your hobbies. It's going to bring you a lot of joy. You can come up with a lot of new creative ideas, or even investments, learning about investments, investing your money. It's actually going to bring you a lot of joy. October 6th, we have a full moon in the sign of Aries. This is for you, Taurus, your 12th house, your subconscious mind, things that are hidden beneath the surface. There could be endings that you are letting go of, maybe even grudges, painful memories that you are releasing, negative habits, negative thinking patterns, a time where you could finally overcome your self-limiting beliefs. But this is a time, especially towards the beginning of the month, where you might feel like you are more introverted, you want to spend more time alone. The ruler of this full moon, Mars, is actually going to be in your seventh house of committed relationships, business partners, clients, along with Mercury. So there could be talks with business partners, with clients, with a romantic partner, or maybe even a past romantic partner. You could be releasing a negative mindset, especially when it comes to connections, romantic connections. This can also mean that a competitor, if you've had any competitors, any enemies, any people gossiping about you, they may finally leave you alone, or you may come to a mutual understanding with a partner, a ex-business partner, an ex-friend. Something like that could be going on for a lot of you. An unexpected bill can show up, but it's actually a very good time to get rid of the past. So not just what's holding you back subconsciously. Remember, we always are making the subconscious conscious, and we are not realizing it. An excellent time to get rid of negative thinking, but it's also an excellent time to get rid of stuff in your life that you no longer need. On the 13th, Venus moves into Libra. And for you, Taurus, it's your sixth house. So from the 13th, for the rest of October, you're going to have a really good time with your coworkers. An excellent time to find new employees. If you own a business, you can find really great employees at this time. And you could just have more fun at work with your coworkers, dieting, working out, doing your day-to-day activities, even paying off your debts or getting your home organized, getting rid of clutter. All of that stuff will actually bring you a lot of enjoyment the second 2 weeks of October. Also on the 13th, Pluto will station direct in your 10th house. And if you have personal planets from 0 to 5 degrees of Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, or Aquarius, then there could be a lot more tension in life for you in October, as Pluto will either conjunct, oppose, or square one of your personal planets. So there could be a little bit more push and pull dynamics going on, or changes that you are forced to make, you have to make. But as Pluto goes direct in your 10th house, you are really thinking about your future career goals, your future career plans, because over the next 20 years, Pluto is trying to completely transform your career or your public image. So a lot of you guys might be thinking of going into business for yourself, starting a completely different career, or maybe even putting yourself out there in the public eye. October 20th, so right as we're going into the new moon energy in October, Mars will come together with Mercury in your 7th house. So you could be really discussing business agreements, contracts of any kind, but you could also be dealing with some enemies, frenemies, opponents, and be very cautious of what you say, how you speak to people, especially your significant other, because this can actually lead to a huge fight. Or they may try to start a fight with you. You may try to start a fight with them. Your partner, your spouse, your significant other could be very much agitated this month, Taurus. October 21st, we have a new moon in the sign of Libra. The ruler of this new moon, Venus, is sitting in your 6th house. So there could actually be new employees that you are hiring, or even new coworkers coming into your life, into your job. Maybe you are meeting new coworkers at this time. An excellent time to start a new diet program, a new workout routine, because Venus is going to help you really get into the groove of things, and you're going to actually really love it. So if there is something new that comes into your life that has to do with bettering yourself, bettering your health, this is an excellent time to begin that. October 22nd, Neptune is going retrograde back into Pisces, where Saturn is also retrograding, so your 11th house of groups, friendships, hopes, and dreams. This is the axis where eclipses are happening for you, Taurus. So a lot is changing when it comes to romance, romantic partners, children, your relationship with children, and your friendship circles. This may be even a time where you are made aware of certain friends in your life that probably should not be there. Neptune and Saturn retrograding in the 11th house will really show you who your true friends are. So it might be a time where you guys decide to do away with certain groups you belong to, maybe certain people you follow on social media, follow online, and even certain friendships. This may also be a time where some issues, something's happening in the life of your older sibling. And the sun will enter your 7th house. So really all month long, the 7th house, which means either business contracts, enemies, rivals, or falling in love, your romantic partnerships, is what's really highlighted, Taurus. So you're either making big business moves, signing a lot of contracts, or you're really focused on a partner, a romantic partner. Just be more cautious, because this can be a month where your partner could irritate the heck out of you, and it may cause some arguments, disagreements. And what's bringing you a lot of joy this month is spending time with your children, just literally having fun, maybe some romantic date nights, or getting organized, getting fit, clearing out the clutter from your life, from your home. I hope that this was helpful, Taurus. Gemini, all month long, you have Mars in your 6th house. And really, while Mars is in Scorpio, people could be a little bit on edge, more argumentative, more willing to fight. So be cautious of this. And for you, especially when it comes to work, because there could be arguments with coworkers, with employees, even with your competitors. You could be very much impatient, but you could also be very driven to either get healthy, get in shape, pay off your bills, pay off your debt, clear the clutter from your life. So it is really great for that. The first half of the month, the first 13 days to be exact, Venus is still transiting your fourth house. So what's going to bring you joy and fulfillment is maybe redecorating your house, spending time with your family, spending time with your pets, just really lounging around the house, or maybe even working on home-based projects. October 6th, we have a full moon in Aries, your 11th house of groups, friendships, and organizations. And it can be a time where you are releasing a friendship. Maybe there is a friendship that has run its course, or maybe there is a group that you belong to, whether it is online, in real life, you no longer want to be a part of. There may be some changes to your social networks, your social circle, maybe some endings even, as the ruler of this full moon is Mars meeting up with Mercury in your sixth house of discord. So this can actually be a fight, a disagreement with a friend, a friendship circle. But at the same time, it can be a time where you are celebrating an important accomplishment. October 13th, Venus moves into your fifth house of romance, creativity, children. Basically, the last 2 weeks of October, Venus in your fifth house is going to really have you focus on romance, maybe meeting a romantic partner, having some date nights, hanging out with your children, working on your creative projects, or just actually having a lot of fun. That is what's going to bring you a lot of joy and fulfillment the second half of the month. Also on October 13th, Pluto stations direct in your ninth house. If you have personal planets from 0 to 5 degrees of Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, or Aquarius, then you might feel more tension in October coming from other people. But with Mars and Scorpio all month long, there is a tendency that people might be more argumentative anyway. October 20th, Mars will conjunct with Mercury in your sixth house. So really the 20th to the 23rd, be really careful about initiating any kind of drama or arguments at work. And remember, this can go both ways. So people at your job, your employees, your co-workers may start some drama, some arguments at work. October 21st, we have a new moon in the sign of Libra. And Venus, the ruler of this new moon, is in your fifth house. This might be the beginning of a new creative project that you are working on, or you maybe even finding a new hobby that gives you a lot of joy, a lot of excitement, maybe even finding new ways to invest your money. You're going to be really prioritizing having fun, pleasure the second half of the month and really going into November. This can also mean a new romance comes into your life. You meet somebody, you fall in love, maybe for some of you, even pregnancy. Or you could actually just be having a lot of fun and fulfillment from your children. Something new is happening in the lives of your children as well. October 22nd, Neptune retrogrades back into Pisces, where you also have Saturn retrograding, and that's the 10th house of career and public image. And it may be a time that you are made aware of something that you had no idea about before, especially when it comes to bosses, superiors, the people that you work with, your career. And it may be a time where you are really rethinking your career aspirations, how you want to be seen, what you want to be known for. And actually, things at work can be a little murky, especially with your bosses, your superiors, authority figures of any sort. Even the relationship with your father may be a little bit strained right now. This is the axis that you are having eclipses on. So when it comes to your home life, and your career, the way that you want to be seen, the eclipses that happen in September are really active all the way into the next eclipse cycle, which starts in February of 2026. So when it comes to your home life, your family, and your career, there could be a lot of changes happening over the next few months in these areas. And at the end of the month, the sun will move into your sixth house. So your sixth house is very much highlighted. A lot of you are either changing a job, dealing with new employees, dealing with some drama at work, or really getting motivated when it comes to your personal health, your personal finances in the month of October. With all that Scorpio energy in October, there could be more arguments, more disagreements. People could be more intense, so watch out for that. And what's bringing you a lot of joy this month, Gemini, is your home, your family, and your creative projects, having fun, or even a new romance. I hope that this was helpful, Gemini. Cancer, October, you're going to be putting your energy into creative projects, thinking of investments, investing your money. If you are a parent, your children could act up. There could even be disagreements with children over children. New creative ideas that are popping up in your head. Now, this could also be a new romance that sparks instant attraction. The first 13 days of October, Venus is in your third house, and this is fantastic for promoting yourself online, joining groups of people, chit chat, even small gossip will actually bring you a lot of fulfillment, a lot of joy, as well as learning something new or stepping out into your community, visiting a coffee shop, going out to eat. Take a short trip, maybe find an app that you find really engaging, but you're really going to just like chit-chatting and gossiping in your community online with friends, or maybe buying yourself a new cell phone, a new computer. If you are single, you can meet somebody through the community, through friends, through a sibling, or online dating. This could be a good time for online dating. The first 2 weeks of October. October 6th, we have a full moon in Aries. This is your 10th house of career and public image. This can signify a big milestone in your career, your public image. This can also signify endings such as leaving a job. Bosses, your superiors, the people that you report to at work could be changing. Maybe somebody's leaving, you're going to have a new boss, and your job title could be changing. The spotlight will be on your career, what people think of you, the people that are gravitating towards you. And the ruler of this full moon, Mars, will be also meeting up with Mercury in your fifth house. So this could be a creative project that you are putting out there into the world, and you are getting praised for it. Reaching a new level in your career, or you are letting go of an aspect of a career aspiration, and really leaning into another creative outlet that you want to initiate. Putting an end to the way that you used to get your work done and doing something completely different. This could improve your social standing, your reputation, you putting yourself out there in a creative way. October 13th and going into November, Venus is entering your fourth house of home, family, mother. A great time to spend time with loved ones, redecorate your home, deepen family connections, family bonds. What will bring you enjoyment from the 13th going into November is really spending time at home with your family members. Also on the 13th, Pluto will station direct in your eighth house. If you have personal planets from about 0 to 4 degrees of Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, or Taurus, you can feel that October is a little bit more tumultuous, that things are changing, especially when it comes to finances of your partner. But that's really only if you have personal planets there, as Pluto is really just going direct, but really working behind the scenes in your eighth house area, really transforming your psyche, your past traumas, your past hurts. It's a time where you could be really initiating study in astrology, tarot, occult knowledge, occult subjects, the psychology of people. Deep transformations will be happening when it comes to your intimacy and shared resources with a partner, a spouse, other people. You're going to become more intuitive, more psychic. As this long Pluto transit is going to go on in your eighth house, you are going to learn how to have a deeper intense bonds with people, and also how to share in a proper way. Knowing when you give too much to somebody and you don't get it back in return, and knowing when you're not giving enough and somebody needs more from you. This is that access of the give and take, not just money, but money is part of it. It's a resource that we use. Right before the new moon on October 20th, Mercury will conjunct with Mars in your 5th house of creativity, romance, children. This could give you a lot of drive to really communicate, really work on your projects, especially your creative endeavors, but this could also lead to intense arguments with a romantic partner, with a child. So be careful of that. You may say things that you might later regret, or they may say things. So from the 20th to the 22nd, there could be a lot more agitation when it comes to romantic partners, when it comes to children. At the same time, this could be an intense connection where you just feel like you want to talk to somebody, you just met somebody new, intense feelings are happening. October 21st, we have a new moon in the sign of Libra in your 4th house, home, family, mother, your vehicle. The ruler of this new moon, Venus, is right there sitting in your 4th house. This is activating new beginnings when it comes to your personal security, your home. Maybe you are redecorating, buying a new home, moving. New developments are happening in the life of your mother. You are initiating some change in your home environment, maybe even thinking about buying a new vehicle, getting new things for the home, revamping the decorating. It could even be getting a new pet, but a lot of times it's just redecorating. We are redoing something within the home, or maybe even initiating, looking for a new place to live, something that deals with home, family, your stability. A new beginning in this area that you're undertaking from the end of October all the way until November. October 22nd, Neptune retrogrades back into your 9th house area where we have Saturn also retrograding. This is the axis where we have been having eclipses, and you can feel that eclipse energy still all throughout October, and Neptune retrograding here can give you a lot of clarity, can really let you see where you have been deceived, misled, especially when it comes to legal matters of any kind, an educational path, anything having to do with publishing, studying, teaching. You may gain a lot of clarity, and you may have to even make some tough choices. This can also mean that there are things that are revealed to you that you were unaware of when it comes to male figures in your life. Maybe the father's side of the family, and even in the lives of your siblings opposite this, which is the 3rd house area. Saturn, the ruler of your 7th house, is retrograding really September, October, even a little bit in November. So exes may pop up in your life. You may be thinking about past relationships, resolving something in a relationship or a business partnership. You could be going through a lot of realizations when it comes to love, romance, your partnerships this month. On the 23rd, the sun will enter your 5th house of romance, children, creativity. The sun rules over your 2nd house of possessions, finances. So you could be starting a creative venture with your children, a romantic partner, or maybe you are initiating some creative project that's going to bring in money, a lot of confidence and self-worth to you. You investing your money, or maybe even spending money on your children, on account of your children. So there is a big theme of 5th house issues, creativity, projects, hobbies, romance, children, having fun, and skills. I hope it was helpful, Cancer. Leo, in October, the first 22 days, the sun, your ruler, is going to be in the 3rd house area. You could be promoting yourself, really enjoying going on trips, really hanging out in your town with people from your community, working on your business, maybe learning something new. Now, you have Mars all month long in your 4th house, so be careful with arguments within the home, with the family, with the mother. Mercury is also going in there on the 6th, so there's going to be a lot of communication when it comes to family members. With Mars in your 4th house, there could be a lot of home projects that you are working on, improving your home in some way. maybe even having to fix or repair a vehicle of yours. Just be more cautious that this can lead to more arguments, more disagreements, more anger within the home. Until the 13th, you have Venus in your second house, an excellent time to indulge in your senses, check out all the new restaurants, eat some good food, and go shopping. Whenever Venus is in the second house, we can find possessions we love for a long time to come. October 6th, we have a full moon in the sign of Aries. This is your ninth house, where you could have a lot of mental breakthroughs about what you want to do with your future. This can be an ending to a legal matter, or maybe an ending to an educational endeavor you are undertaking, or maybe you teaching, publishing. Now, full moon could also bring you fruits of the labor that you've put into something. If you were working on a project, teaching something, writing something, and now you put it out into the world, you can actually see the fruits of your labor, because that is also what the full moon represents. But this is really a time for big mental adjustments and just really aligning with your future plans. The other part to this is that Mars, the ruler of this full moon, is sitting with Mercury in your fourth house of home and family, and this may be that you are moving, having to move, maybe because of a court judgment or wanting to move, working on a home-based business at home. Family could very much be involved in what it is that you are releasing, whether it is mental blockages, a certain career. There could be a big transformation with home and family. There could be something coming to a conclusion in your father's life, or really the men in your life could be changing up in some way. So actually be careful of arguments with males, with people of authority, and within the family this month, Leo, because of this configuration you have going on. This can be a possibility. October 13th, Venus will enter Libra, your third house. So an excellent time to get together with friends, travel if you can, or just really go out in your community, check out new restaurants, new shopping centers, new coffee shops, an excellent time for that. And Venus in the third is also an excellent time for online dating, promoting yourself, really engaging with other people, even if it is just small gossip. You're going to be more engaged in that, maybe trying to get on social media a little bit more, joining the conversation. That's going to bring you a lot of joy, a lot of happiness from the 13th all the way going into November. Also on the 13th, Pluto will station direct in your seventh house. It was retrograding and now it's going direct. If you are a very early degree Leo rising, from about 0 to 5 degrees, you can feel this opposition coming from the other people in your life in October, moving into November. Maybe there's some tense situations going on when it comes to business partners, clients, relationships, contracts. And if you have personal planets from 0 to 5 degrees of Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, or Taurus, you can feel this happening in your home life, in your career, in your own identity, your life path, and your relationships. So a lot of you who are very early degree Leo risings can feel like there's big shakeups and transformations happening in your innermost personal relationships and just relationships in general. And that's Pluto's job as it's transiting your seventh house, is to wake you up and shake up the reality of relationships and the big role they play in your life. So you can even attract people who are very manipulative, jealous. You can become that way with somebody, real soulmate connections, obsessions. So a lot is changing in the area of relationships. It doesn't have to be bad, but it definitely will be a transformation. And it's really happening in the background, unless it's aspecting a personal planet or really opposing the degree of your ascendant. October 20th, Mars will conjunct with Mercury in your fourth house. This is really the time to pay attention to what you say, what other people say, and this can lead to a lot of arguments, disagreements within the home, at work, with relationships. So do be cautious. Maybe try to bite your tongue a little bit. It's better to be happy than to be right, because this can bring in some anger or some harsh words that may be exchanged. And that is leading into the new moon we have have on the 21st in your third house. So this is you initiating something new when it comes to community, siblings, skill sets. You could be starting something new when it comes to learning, teaching, travel, relationships within your community. Maybe the relationships you have with your siblings are changing. You want to change them. How you communicate with others, how you speak to yourself. An excellent time to really initiate a more positive mindset. Maybe go out there, meet new friends, mingle with other people online. This is an excellent time to sign up for more social networks. Maybe if you don't have an Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook, you want to join a community online. Learn from new people. Promote yourself or your business in a new way. On a mundane level, it could be you planning a trip, a small getaway, getting a new computer, a new cell phone, maybe even getting some new software that you need for the job or for any skill set that you are undertaking, or initiating a new artistic, creative endeavor, hobby. November 22nd, Neptune retrogrades back into your 8th house area where Saturn is also retrograding. They were both opposing the eclipse in September, and really even all in October and all in November, you can feel the effects of the September eclipses on this axis. The money that you make, the energy that you share with someone else and other people's resources, money, how they affect you. Neptune could really wake you up right now to any deception about your partner's finances or any deception mistake that a counselor made, that an accountant made. You could be made aware of this right now. Neptune retrograde has a way of waking us up. This can also be a time of a deep, deep spiritual healing for you, Leos, where you finally look back at the past, whether it is your relationship, your past trauma, and you release it in some way. You understand it on a deeper, more profound level with clarity, because both Neptune and Saturn are retrograde. So it's that kind of clarity where it's maybe not even seen in the real world, but you yourself internally feel this. You will be made aware of what it is that you need to change and just let go and release it. The 8th house is the house of releasing. It's also the house of scandal and secret. So maybe it is even a time where you just release, whether it is to a friend, your significant other, a counselor, or somebody else. You release things that you were holding on to, and therefore you can finally change, transform. But for some of you, it could just be that there is some changes when it comes to your partner's money, the finances that you shared, maybe some things that have to change. On the 23rd, the sun will enter your 4th house, so it's highlighting that home and family area again, whether that is working on your vehicles, your family connections, a family business, a project within the house. You're really going within maybe and healing from the past. This is the month where you're just really focused on your inner, outer security, your family, money, finances, and how you share chores and money, finances with those that you love, with your family members or your significant other. That's going to be the focus. And what will bring you joy and happiness is shopping, indulging in your senses, and going out there and mingling with people, getting online, maybe joining some social media group. That will bring you a lot of fulfillment. I hope this was helpful, Leo. Virgo, all month long, you have Mars in your 3rd house, and Mercury, your ruler on the 6th, is joining in to your 3rd house area as well. So really your communication, all your efforts are going to learning a skill, hanging out in your community, really getting out there or putting yourself out there online. You're going to really enjoy gossiping, talking to people, learning new things. This can bring on arguments with siblings, maybe even neighbors. Be careful when you are out driving. You may even encounter some road rage. Issues with electronics, so watch out for that. But you're going to be very ambitious to put yourself out there. You're going to be very motivated to either learn something new, teach something new, or really just get together with people. From the 1st until the 13th, you still have Venus in your sign. So you're more magnetic. You could attract love into your life more easily. Of course, Venus doesn't really love being in Virgo because it's very critical. So you can actually be very critical of yourself. Maybe you're trying to fix your appearance in some way. But it is a great time for shopping, updating your look, updating your hairstyle, focusing on yourself. And all the way until October 22nd, the sun in your second house is really shining a light on your possessions, finances. There is a big focus on money making, maybe even learning new skills so you could start generating more income for yourself. October 6th, we have a full moon in Aries, your 8th house of transformation. Now, the ruler of this full moon is going into your 3rd house of skill sets, neighborhood, siblings, joining with Mercury, which is your ruler. There could be big changes happening in your siblings' lives. And you could be really releasing old, outdated forms of communication, forms of thinking, the way that you think about yourself, talk to yourself. You could be transforming this. So an excellent time to take on a positive mindset. Release old, outdated skills and learn something new. Gravitate to new people who you really want to learn from. But when we're talking about the 8th house, it could be heavy stuff that you are releasing, and therefore this could be a very emotional time for you. As each new and full moon cycle is a continuation of the September eclipses until we hit February, March of 2026 when new eclipses start. So the eclipses of September are unfolding for the next few months, and the 8th house is dealing with the past, dealing with traumas, letting them go, releasing them. This may also be an end to a contract, an agreement, an end to sharing resources with somebody else, whether it is through divorce, through the help of the government, or anything like that. There could be changes when it comes to finances of other people and how they benefit you. Or maybe you are parting ways with a counselor, an astrologer, a lawyer, an accountant. The full moon is also where things come to a head. So it is the conclusion of something that's been building up. So it could also be a time of rewards where maybe you gain financial support from other people through a loan, through a spouse, partner. Sudden material rewards can come to you at this time, especially if you've been working on something, maybe like a business or anything like that. You may see financial rewards as well. On the 13th, Venus will enter your second house. So from the 13th for the rest of October going into November, it's an excellent time to buy yourself something that you want. Whatever we buy when Venus is transiting in our second house, we really appreciate it. We love it for a really long time. So a good time for shopping, a good time to acquire new possessions. It's also an excellent time to really go out and indulge in your senses. So if you want to check out new restaurants or anything like that, you'll probably find the really good stuff. You'll find the good places, the good food when you have Venus in your second house. Also on the 13th, Pluto will station direct in your 6th house. And those of you who have personal planets from about 0 to 5 degrees of Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, or Scorpio could feel that October is going a little bit heavier. There's more things happening because if Pluto is aspecting, conjuncting with one of your personal planets, a lot could be changing in your life where you are forced to stand up for yourself. And for you, this could be dealing in the area of work and health. And over the next 20 years, Pluto will be in the background of your 6th house, which is competitors. So you may notice that people are getting more competitive with you. You may become more competitive. You may want to completely change your body, your diet, your fitness regimen. And now as Pluto turns direct, you guys could actually have this ignited passion to change your diet, change your body, become healthier, or maybe even change your job in some way. Maybe you want to find something that has meaning. On the 20th, Mercury will conjunct with Mars in your third house. So really from the 20th for the next few days going into the new moon, just be careful of driving any and all communications because you could be angrier, maybe say something you later regret, or this could even be coming from a sibling, your subordinates, people that live around you, people from your community. Just be careful of arguments, disagreements, being out on the road rage from other people. Do be cautious of that. October 21st, we have a new moon in the sign of Libra, your second house. And this is where Venus is transiting. And it is the ruler of this new moon. And this means that maybe you are beginning something new when it comes to buying yourself something that you have always wanted, acquiring new possessions. A new source of income could open up for you, or you could start making more money. Now, this could just be you planting the seeds where over the next month into November, you finally see that you are making more money, you acquired new possessions, you start eating in a different way, or maybe even initiating some form of dental work, or beautifying yourself, changing up your beauty routine in some way. On the 22nd of October, Neptune will retrograde back into your 7th house. And I'm sure you Virgos are really sick of Neptune in your 7th house. Both Saturn and Neptune are going to be retrograding in your 7th house. And this can make people from the past show up. You could be thinking of people from the past and they could really contact you in some way. You've been having eclipses on your axis all year and continuing onto 2026. But the eclipses that happen in September are going to be very much felt in October. You could feel that you are letting the past go, and the past can come back into your life. So do be cautious of that, but you can also be really much awakened to what you were not aware of before within your relationships. All relationships, whether they're business relationship, client relationships, friendships, or romantic relationships. So you could even learn from going over the past and analyzing. I know you Virgos love to analyze, and this is really a time where you're going to really gain from analyzing your past relationships because Neptune can really show you where things went wrong, where you were misled, if somebody was lying to you, if somebody took advantage of you. And this is a big one because a lot of times this can also signify the beginning of a relationship for a lot of you because you have had these eclipses and this is where the North Node is transiting, your 7th house. So there could be someone new coming to your life, maybe even someone you haven't seen in a while, someone from the past. So there could be a lot of new developments in your relationships, October, November. On the 23rd, the sun will also go into your 3rd house, really illuminating your 3rd house area. And that's a big focus for you, whether that's skills, promoting yourself, promoting your business, learning, teaching, travel, communicating, or just enjoying getting out of your house and doing things. That is really what October is about for you. And what will bring you a lot of joy the first half of the month is really focusing on yourself, being a little bit selfish, focusing on your look, your health, and the second part of the month, really just indulging in your senses, taking in everything around you, being grateful for it, and shopping if that is what you are into. I hope that this was helpful, Virgo. Libra, this is a big month for you because you have a new moon in your 1st house, a full moon in your 7th house, and you have Venus going into your sign. The focus this month will really be on money, possessions, family connections. So be careful because you could be really impulsively spending. There may be some disagreements, arguments in the family. So watch out for that. Watch out how you say things. The first 13 days of October, Venus is in your 12th house. So there could be dreams about past relationships. You may even be dealing with gossip or people from the past. And you might be wanting to stay in a little bit. Now, the second half of the month, things will change. October 7th, we have a full moon in your 7th house of relationships, business contracts. The ruler, Mars, will be in your 2nd house along with Mercury. This could be an ending to a business contract, one that affects your finances. Or it could be that you were working on something and finally you gain a contract that will help you to make more money, add a new source of income. A full moon is not just an ending. It can be an ending, a releasing, but it is also something that's been building up for a while and now shows the fruits of your labor. So this can be you taking a relationship to the next stage, a bigger commitment. It could also be you releasing a relationship. If you are with somebody and it's not working, this could be a time where you guys break up, go your separate ways. You ending a partnership that you have had with a business partner. It could be a time where certain clients leave you, especially if you are in the service industry. A time where you might actually end any and all conflict that you may have had with any enemy, competitor of yours. October 13th, Venus enters Libra, your sign, and this is a fantastic time to start a new relationship, meet somebody that's very like-minded, a great time to update your wardrobe. You're going to really be more charming, more engaging with people. Excellent time for shopping or just changing up anything about your look. Venus loves being in Libra. It really brings out the best of Venus. So not only are you going to be looking and feeling better, but you're going to be attracting a lot of people to you. Venus will also trine Pluto in your 5th house that's turning direct. So there could be a romance that is blossoming, or you meet somebody, start a new relationship. Also on the 13th, Pluto will station direct in your 5th house. If you have personal planets from 0 to 4 degrees of Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, or Taurus, you can feel the effects of Pluto transforming something in your life, making things a little bit more complicated. But really, this is all about children, romance, your creativity, having fun, new ways of expressing yourself. And that is what you are transforming over the next 20 years with Pluto in your 5th house. So a lot of intense romantic connections, maybe even some of you children, a business, new creative enterprises that are going to catch your eye and transform how you have fun. So as Pluto is stationing direct in your 5th house there could be some changes when it comes to romantic connections. On the 20th, Mercury will conjunct with Mars in your 2nd house. So be careful how you speak to people. You can say things you might later regret. This can be also that you are signing contracts, especially where money, finances are concerned. Maybe a big purchase or some kind of work contract. But just be careful of family arguments or maybe impulsively spending money. October 21st, we have a new moon in the sign of Libra, and the ruler of Libra is Venus, also sitting in your 1st house. So this is a new beginning to your identity, your personality, your life path, where you are going in this life. A perfect time to start doing something new. This can even be the beginning of a new look for you, a new haircut, a new wardrobe, new makeup, feeling inspired to change your look, your aesthetic. So this can very much coincide with you changing up your hair color, a drastic haircut. And with Venus sitting in your 1st house, you are more magnetic, more charming, more alluring. So this can also turn out great, especially if you are changing up your look. This can be something that turns out really well. You can also meet somebody at this time, Libra. When Venus is in the 1st, the 5th, the 7th, it's a time where we can meet a romantic partner. So if you are single, put yourself out there, go mingle with other people. More than likely, they could even come right up to you. On the 22nd, Neptune retrogrades back into your 6th house. And this is where Saturn is retrograding. The 6th and 12th house axis is where we had the eclipses. And you can feel the eclipse energy September, October, November. A lot can be changing in the area of work, co-workers, employees, health, mental health. If you own a business, this can be a time where you find out something you were unaware of, especially dealing with employees, the people that work for you. This can be a time where you're looking at the reality of things when it comes to work, health, co-workers, and you might not like what you see. You might want to push to change something in the area of work and health. debt, your bills, your daily expenses, your daily living. This is the last pass that retrograding Saturn and Neptune are making in your 6th house. So a lot of you Libra risings are making great improvements when it comes to your daily schedule, how you manage your debt, your bills, your health, your job, maybe even changing your job, where you work, your coworkers are changing around you. On the 23rd, the sun will go into your 2nd house, really shifting the focus to money, the money that you make. I hope this was helpful, Libra. Scorpio, all of October, you have Mars in the 1st house. This is going to give you a lot of drive, a lot of energy, but it can make you more argumentative. Mercury is also going in there. The sun will also go in there at the end of October. So it's a big month for you. This can bring in a lot of energy into your life where you just feel like you want to do something, you want to communicate, maybe even change up your style, start and initiate something new. A good time to start working out or doing something physical, especially if you notice yourself getting angry, going off on people, or people going off on you, because Mars brings in so much energy that if we don't dissipate it in the right way, there can be more arguments. First 13 days of October, Venus will be in your 11th house. So a great time to buy yourself something you've always wanted, hang out with friends, join some groups, join some social circles. This is really great for sales, gaining more followers. So if you own a business, put yourself out there a little bit more because people will be much more attracted to your energy with this. And you could even meet a potential romantic partner when you're out with friends, just enjoying yourself, having fun. October 6th, we have a full moon in the sign of Aries. This is your 6th house of work, health, routine. It can be a time that you are leaving a job, maybe starting a new business venture. Maybe you've been thinking about leaving and now could be the right time. This could also mean that a colleague, somebody that you work with, is leaving a job. If you own a business, it could be a time where some of your employees are leaving. So the attention will turn to work, health, finishing up any work project. The ruler of this full moon, Mars, will be in your 1st house along with Mercury. So there could be a lot of talks when it comes to work projects, business ventures that you want to undertake, or maybe you are completely changing your health, your diet, your exercise regimen. You're going to have a lot of energy, and this is a perfect time to get rid of any negative habits. This can lead to a lot of conversations with work colleagues, employees. October 13th, Venus will go into Libra. This is your 12th house. So this is a time where some of you might spend a little too much money or really spend money on yourself, but really a great time to get a massage, a facial, pedicure, relax at home. A time when you and a partner might be wanting to spend some time alone, or maybe even starting a relationship up behind the scenes. Be careful of overindulgence of any kind, as Venus is in your 12th house, and it may also be a time where you uncover some secrets about a partner, a romantic relationship that you are in. On the 13th, Pluto is also going direct in your 4th house. So this can signify a big transformation within the home, a move, or maybe something is really stirring up at home with the family. This is especially true if you have personal planets from about 1 to 5 degrees of Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, or Aquarius, because you can feel that Pluto in the month of October, November. And Pluto in your 4th house is really going to shake up your family life a little bit, your home life. On the 20th, Mercury will come together with Mars in your 1st house, but really from the 19th as we go into the new moon, so until the 21st, 22nd, be careful how you speak to people. You can become a little bit more argumentative. Mars is aggression and Mercury is our communication. So be careful. You might be impulsive and just say things you don't mean. You might even want to bicker, fight with a romantic partner, or you may feel like they are fighting with you. So just be more cautious with your communication. October 21st, there is a new moon in Libra. Venus rules over Libra and is sitting in the 12th house right there. So the focus can really be on letting go of the past, relationships. You could even actually be meeting up with people, having conversations with people from the past. Exes could be reaching out to you. A secret could be revealed to you from a partner, from somebody that you are dating. Something you are unaware of may come to light at this time. Some of you may even start a new relationship in secret behind the scenes. This can also be a very brand new beginning where you are getting rid of bad negative habits, self-destructive patterns. You may find a new way to deal with those things. Initiating maybe new spiritual practices. As Venus and this new moon are in your 12th house, this could also signify that you spend money on something that you really wanted. You buy yourself that luxury possession that you have been wanting for a while. You could also be losing sleep a little bit and really rethinking your past romantic relationships, really analyzing your partner, your relationships. So towards the end of the month, the joy will really come from spending time alone, retreating away from the world. October 22nd, Neptune is retrograding back into your 5th house, where Saturn is also retrograding. For some of you, this can even be a return of a romantic partner, a past lover that comes back into your life, running into somebody that you used to date or them contacting you in some way. The 5th and 11th house area is where you had the eclipses in September, and you can definitely feel the effects of the eclipse still in October, November, and now as Saturn and Neptune are both retrograding in your 5th house. There can be things that come to light you were unaware of about creative projects, romantic partners, about your investments, about your children, what is going on in your children's lives. You guys might be highly rethinking a relationship or a creative project that you are working on. Also, 22nd, 23rd, the sun is moving into your 1st house, so the focus is on you, Scorpio, on your look, your outlook on life. You are going to be turning the focus back to yourself towards the end of October. I hope that this was helpful, Scorpio. Sagittarius, October, you're going to focus on your career, your friendships, as that's where the sun will be transiting. And for the first 13 days of October, you have Venus in your 10th house, really highlighting your career, a great time for promotions, promoting yourself, setting up business meetings, acknowledgement for all your contributions within the workplace, within the career. All month long, you have Mars in your 12th house, and this is going to give you a hard time falling asleep. So you might be up a little bit more in October. People from the past can show up. You can have a lot of dreams that even wake you up at night. Mercury also being in your 12th house could also bring exes back from the past clients, past business partners. And really, you can still all of October feel the effects of the eclipses that we have this September. So there could be a lot of stuff going on at work and at home that is changing. It's a great time to start and initiate projects behind the scenes. So not a good time to really tell anybody your plans. Just if you do have a special plan, put it into action and work in silence. October 6th, we have a full moon in the sign of Aries, and this is your 5th house of romance, children, creativity, your investments. If you've been seeing somebody right now, this is a time where you could take a relationship to the next level. If you have been working on a creative project, this can be a time where you are finished releasing your work to the world. Some of you may even end a relationship that wasn't going anywhere. There could be a completion in your children's lives at this time. The ruler of this full moon is going to the 12th house. So there could be some expenses around children, romantic partners, or creative projects, maybe some investments. On the 13th, Venus moves into Libra, your 11th house. So from the 13th for the rest of October, you're really going to have fun hanging out with friends, groups of people, meeting new people. This can be a good time to gain a bigger following if you are on social media. Mingle with other people, and that's going to bring you a lot of joy, a lot of happiness. Also on the 13th, Pluto will go direct. And if you have personal planets from 0 to 4 or 5 degrees of Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, or Scorpio, then you might have hard decisions or new developments occurring in your life that force you to change. On October 20th, but you're going to feel this going into the new moon. We have Mars conjuncting with Mercury, and this is happening in your 12th house, your subconscious mind, behind the scenes. So the past might come back into your life to be dealt with. Be careful that you don't exchange some harsh words with somebody, because when Mercury comes together with Mars, there could be an argument, disagreements with a spouse or partner, or maybe even with someone from the past. So really from the 19th to the 22nd, just be more cautious with any and all communication, because people could be more angry. October 21st, we have a new moon in Libra. Venus, the ruler of this full moon, is sitting with the full moon in your 11th house. The 11th house is the love that you receive. It could be a time where people are really gathering towards you. You can gain more followers, more connections, meet new groups of people, new friendships, new beginnings in team projects, expanding your social circle, having a lot of conversations about celebrities, famous people. This is also a time where there could be a new goal, a new vision for the future that comes to you, and you start working on that. But really an excellent time to hang out with people, hang out with friends, join more social groups. On the 22nd, Neptune will go back into your 4th house, where you also have Saturn retrograding. Both Saturn and Neptune were also opposing the eclipse we had September 21st. And really all September, October, November, you could feel the effects of the eclipse. And this Neptune retrograde could really open you up to seeing things you were not aware of in the home, with your vehicle, with your family. Maybe you're wanting to move, but something came up and you just can't move yet. There could be something going on, especially when it comes to your home life, your mother, your living situation, that you are working on changing right now. On the 22nd, the sun will go into your 12th house. So it's really going to highlight that 12th house area, your mental health, how you self-sabotage, needing to get some rest, retreat away from everybody. So you're really going to feel like you need some downtime, some rest towards the end of October. I hope this was helpful, Sagittarius. Capricorn, the first 13 days of October, Venus is in your 9th house. You could be really enjoying learning from a mentor, a book, a documentary, planning a trip, traveling, or just talking to people from all walks of life. It's a really good time to learn something, to study something that brings you a lot of happiness. All month long, you have Mars in your 11th house, and this is where you're really working hard on your hopes, your dreams, plans for the future. But at the same time, this could give a lot of disagreements within friendship circles, with an older sibling, so be cautious of this. Even with acquaintances, really your friends could be pissing you off this month, Capricorn. October 6th, we have a full moon in the sign of Aries. This can signify a move, getting rid of an old vehicle, really going through your house and clearing out the clutter. Some of you maybe even saying goodbye to a roommate, somebody that you used to live with. Your living arrangements could be changing. A full moon is also a time where you could be having a big celebration. Maybe you were working towards getting a new car, getting a new house, a new apartment, and now finally you have found exactly what you're looking for. The ruler of this full moon is in your 11th house along with Mercury. So there could be conversations with an older sibling, maybe even some anger, some fight or conflict with an older sibling, or friends, roommates, people in your social circle. Anytime we have a full moon in the 4th house, it's an excellent time to get rid of clutter. October 13th, Venus will now enter your 10th house area. This is fantastic for promotions, gaining more status, people really recognizing you for the good work that you are producing, people recognizing your work in some way. So this is really great, especially if you are in the public eye, you do sales, maybe even meeting a love interest at work. Also on the 13th, Pluto will turn direct in your 2nd house. If you do have personal planets from 0 to 4 or 5 degrees of Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, or Scorpio, you may really feel that Pluto presence in October, maybe through manipulation, jealousy, power struggles, especially when it comes to finances, how you share responsibilities within the home with a partner, a business partner, a significant other. So do watch out for power and control issues, especially if you have planets at those degrees. And October 20th, Mercury will be conjuncting with Mars in your 11th house. So watch out for arguments, disagreements with friends, with people online, within the groups that you belong to, your social contact, your acquaintances, or even with an older sibling. Be careful what words you use, because when Mars comes together with Mercury, it could be one of those really big fights, arguments. October 21st, there is a new moon in Libra, and Venus, the ruler of Libra, is also sitting in your 10th house along with this new moon. So you are initiating a new beginning when it comes to work, promotion, being seen by the public, being recognized for all your hard work. Some of you may be getting a promotion, getting a new job, starting a business, or people are finally seeing the value that you bring to a corporation, a place of work. So a big spotlight on your career towards the end of October. And with Venus being in the 10th house, not only are people recognizing your contribution, but you're really going to enjoy putting in the focus into your career, your future ambitions. You can make a lot of great career contacts in October going into November. October 22nd, Neptune is also retrograding back into your 3rd house area, where you also have Saturn retrograding. Saturn and Neptune were also both opposing the eclipse on the 21st happening in your 9th house. And really all of October, you can still feel the effects of the eclipse really strongly. And when it comes to your 3rd house area, your community could be changing, your neighborhood, your relationship with your siblings, your skill sets, that is undergoing a big transformation and a big change. So all of September, October, November, you can have a lot of realizations about maybe how you self-sabotage, how you need to change up your communication. Maybe you are wanting new skill sets in your life that really help you navigate where you want to go. This may also mean that there's things in your siblings' lives that you now uncover you were not aware of before. Also, on the 22nd, the sun will be going into your 11th house. So it's really going to highlight your friendships, groups that you belong to, your hopes and dreams for the future. At the end of the month, you might be really wanting to socialize with people more. I hope this was helpful, Capricorn. Aquarius, the first 13 days of October, Venus will be in your 8th house. So this can really strengthen intimate bonds with a romantic partner. You could really be digging deep into psychology, astrology, tarot, studying something, benefit from other people's money, maybe receive a gift. You are really redefining your finances, your valuables, your possessions right now, as Saturn is retrograding in your 2nd house. All of October, you can still really be feeling the effects of the eclipses that we had in September. So for you, what's really changing is the area of how you share responsibilities, energy with the people that you live with, your family members, money, finances. All month long, you have Mars in your 10th house, and Mercury is also going in there. So there could be a lot of communications when it comes to your public status, your career. Watch out for some uneven dynamics, or maybe even getting triggered by a boss, a superior, or even people of authority. But Mars in the 10th is going to give you the willpower to go after your goals, especially where your career is concerned. So an excellent time to work on work projects, find a new job, assert yourself in your career. October 6th, we have a full moon in Aries. This is your 3rd house of siblings, self-effort, skill sets, community, neighbors. This can be a time where you could be having a lot of conversations, or much needed conversations. There could be something coming to a close within your community, your neighborhood, or in your siblings' lives. A time where you might be inspired to really speak your mind about something you have been maybe holding in. This can bring a lot of changes within your neighborhood. Maybe someplace that you used to go out to eat, you used to go have coffee, is closing. The places around you are changing. You could also do a mass unfollow on social media. Maybe things that used to bring you interest no longer do. This can be a time that you might need to replace a cell phone, a computer, a mic, a camera. This can also mean that you are presenting the work that you have been doing involving a skill set or maybe teaching a class. It's time to present the work right now. That's because we have the ruler of the third going into the 10th house of career, public image, meeting up with Mercury. This means that you are really focused on work project, initiating something new in your career. And there could be a lot of career talks right now, talks with the public, talks with your clients, your bosses, superiors. The focus most of October really is on work, your career, redefining your public image. On the 13th, Venus will go into Libra. So from the 13th for the rest of the month, you're going to find a lot of joy and fulfillment in watching documentaries, writing, teaching, communicating, travel, planning a trip, picking up a good book, watching a documentary. This is where the joy in life will be for the rest of October. Now, also on the 13th, Pluto turns direct in your 4th house. And if you are a very early degree Aquarius rising from about 0 to 4 degrees, or you have planets in Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, or Scorpio from 0 to 4 degrees, you will be feeling Pluto transforming your life in some way. Situations can arise that will really transform who you are, but do watch out for power struggles, manipulation, jealousy, especially in the area of personal relationships. October 21st, we have a new moon in Libra, your 9th house of higher education, philosophy. So around the end of the month, with this new moon in your 9th house, you could be led to a new perspective that helps you change your viewpoint on life. It could be through a book, a documentary, a show, something that you watch, a new teacher, somebody that inspires you to change. You might be planning a getaway with family, a romantic partner, because the ruler of this new moon is Venus, and Venus is sitting with the new moon. So maybe some of you are even talking to people from all walks of life, really connecting on a deep level, or maybe taking a trip, planning a trip with your significant other. You could meet a significant other on a trip or in a schooling environment. This new moon is really about a new perspective, motivation, and really enjoying time with a loved one, a family member, or connecting to others through learning, through spirituality, through teaching classes, and for some of you, maybe even a brand new publishing deal. It could be very well received with that Venus in the 9th house area during this new moon. October 22nd, Neptune slides back into your 2nd house, where it might show you what you were not aware of when it comes to finances, valuables, contracts, especially when it deals with home, family, issues with a big purchase that you made. If anything has not been as it seemed, it will come up right now over the course of the next few months. Be more cautious with your stuff. This can also indicate scams, theft, because Saturn and Neptune are retrograding in your 2nd house of possessions, valuables. You may even be made aware of how you were scammed, what it is that you need to change and fix when it comes to money, bills. On the 22nd, the sun will enter your 10th house. So that 10th house area for you, Aquarius, is really illuminated this month. You are really just chasing after your career goals and really working on improving your finances. I hope that this was helpful for you, Aquarius. Pisces, October, you're still going to be feeling the effects of the September eclipses that were happening in your 1st and 7th house. You might even be feeling that there are some reversals or things you are revising, reanalyzing when it comes to groups that you belong to, friendships, and your future plans. The theme of this month really will be focused on your publishing, your spiritual beliefs, maybe even traveling, learning something new, teaching somebody something new. There could be some disagreements with teachers, students, as well as disagreements with male figures. There could be communication, contracts that you are signing. Maybe you're disagreeing with something that has to do with schooling, education, publishing, or a legal case, a legal matter. A lot of you are still feeling like you are releasing, letting go of your old identity, aesthetic, or appearance, and beginning something new when it comes to your relationships, whether that is a new contract, a new relationship, new business partners, or you're welcoming new clients into your business. The first 13 days of October, you're going to have Venus in your 7th house. That is where the South Node is. This could even bring up feelings of past romantic entanglements. Maybe you're thinking about somebody from the past or they contact you. Venus going through your 7th house is really good for improving relationships. But at the same time, Venus does not like being in the sign of Virgo. So it could also feel like you are finding fault, imperfections in your partner. Or you may feel like they are doing that with you a little bit for the first 2 weeks of October. October 6th, we have a full moon in Aries landing in your 2nd house of possessions, finances, things that are of value to you. And the ruler, Mars, is sitting in your 9th house of publishing, law, philosophy, teaching, being a mentor, finding your mentors, and ending to a source of income, you ridding yourself of possessions that you no longer find valuable. This can also be a time you achieve a financial goal, because a full moon is also when things come to a head, when things are at its peak, they've reached what they needed to do. Maybe due to publishing, schooling, being a mentor to people, you finally achieve a financial goal that you have been trying to reach. A full moon really says release and let go of any attachment that you have. Even if it is that you are putting something out there into the world, let go of what it is you think, what you expect to happen. Basically, don't be attached to the outcome. The full moon in Aries means we are going full in on whatever it is that we're trying to accomplish. So this can be a time where you are really rethinking all financial matters. Any and everything that is valuable to you, you could be really rethinking what it is that is of importance. For some of you, this could be an ending to a legal matter that deals with possessions, money. This can bring up some anger. And there could even be anger with you if you are a teacher, a mentor, or maybe you have some anger towards a teacher or mentor, because Mars can be aggressive. It's where we can be feeling a little bit upset, a little bit mad. On the 13th, Venus will enter Libra, your 8th house. So what will bring you a lot of joy is research, maybe occult knowledge, occult subjects, watching things on TV that involve transformation, maybe even some true crime, taking in some thriller movies. Some of you maybe even getting a surprise gift. Also on the 13th, Pluto goes direct in your 12th house. If you are somebody who has personal planets from 0 to 4 degrees of Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, October could be a little bit more challenging because you will either have the conjunction, square, or opposition going on from Pluto. Right now, what's happening is Pluto is waking up in your 12th house, and this can actually show you some of your past traumas. The past can come back into your life to be dealt with. You could be faced with patterns of self-sabotage right now. So that could be just in your face this month, how you get in your own way, negative thinking patterns that could all be coming up as Pluto is turning direct, maybe even some sleepless nights contemplating things. On the 19th, Mars will conjunct with Mercury. So do be cautious if you are traveling, going anywhere. Also be cautious with how you speak to people. There could be some anger and argument that comes up with a client, a student, a teacher, male figures in your life. This can also be that you are really focused and signing a contract with new clients, new customers, signing documents for school or immigration. This can actually also be maybe even signing divorce papers or papers relating to a marriage or partnership, or it can be publishing something on social media, maybe teaching a course. There could be issues, disagreements with a father figure, and actually really all male figures, uncles, friends, boyfriends, the significant other. October 21st, we have a new moon in Libra in the 8th house of shared resources, occult knowledge, secrets, intimacy. And during this new moon, we have Venus, the sign that rules over Libra, sitting with the new moon. This could mean that you are really diving deep into some new occult knowledge. You are learning something new, deepening your intimacy with a romantic partner, a spouse, the beginning of new contracts, a new loan, your partner gaining a new source of income, making more money. This could even be an inheritance, starting fresh. Eighth house is a house of transformation. Maybe it's a fresh beginning after a difficult time, a difficult period. You could be hiring a new therapist, accountant, a new astrologer, tarot reader. You could be looking for somebody new in that department if you are into that stuff. And Venus there could bring somebody really good, somebody that you really align with. October 22nd, Neptune comes back into your first house. So now you've got Neptune and Saturn retrograding in your first house, really making you realize what it is that you need to let go of, the little things that are unfinished. If you are a late degree Pisces rising from about 25 to 30 degrees, you're really going to feel that Saturn and Neptune coming back into your first house. Neptune can open your eyes to things you have not been looking at, especially when it comes to you, your path in life, your health, and your personal relationships. So there could be situations that come up now that cause a little bit of frustration. Illusions could be broken. So you could really see people for exactly who they are. Also on the 22nd, the sun goes into your ninth house. So it's really illuminated, that ninth house area. You're really dealing with education, teaching, philosophy, your belief systems, male figures, your father, contracts or legal matters. That is where a lot of energy is going into. I hope that this was helpful, Pisces. Like and subscribe for more.